Yeah.
Hey, what is going on, SMT Nation? It is your boy, the SMT. I've got huge news to report today. There's a lot changing with C-Band. I didn't think this was coming, honestly. There's huge news. The auction is changing. It's generating tons of money. Way more than we actually anticipated, would have been up to this point. I don't want to give away too much in just this little introduction, so all of that starts now. Alright, so to get things started with this video, let me just preface this by saying C-Band is even bigger than we once thought. We knew it was going to be huge. We knew it was going to be game-changing. This is 5G Goldilocks spectrum. This is, 280 megahertz, so that's tons of spectrum. This is 3.7 gigahertz. It's a great mid-band. It's going to offer incredible capacity. It's going to enable the carriers to do a lot in wireless, and we're really excited for it. But now we just caught wind of the FCC changing a couple of things, so I wanted to present that and bring that here to the table, and then summarize what we're seeing with the money and the spending with the bids currently through the auction up to this point. Alright, so change number one, the FCC is going to be modifying the number of rounds per day. They are changing it. They're going to increase it from 4 rounds to 5 per day. Second change they're going to make is going to be the amount of time for each of the rounds. So instead of it being 1 hour per round, they're going to switch it. They're going to make it 30 minutes per round. So clearly the push to change these modifications is going to really be about finishing the spectrum auction sooner and accelerating it to completion. So basically, we're going to get to a terminus at a much earlier date and time. It looks like the amount of spectrum when it comes to the bidding and how much money has been generated. Here's what we currently know. We had 29 rounds completed with a total spending bids of $23.5 billion, and that is definitely approaching the 2015 AWS auction. If you guys remember that, that's for some really important mid-band. That's really the reason why we have, HD video and high capacity and advanced LTE. That spectrum kind of made it happen. That spectrum auction actually topped $45 billion. We could see that again. In terms of the C-Band, a lot of expectations for this auction. Some of the conservative predictions were like 25 to 30 billion. Some of the more progressive predictions were slated around 40 or 45 billion, if you kind of listen to some of the talking heads. And I know I made my prediction. I kind of had it at around 45 billion. But to me, it seems like it's trending above that. It's quite possible that we see C-Band, Spectrum Auction 107, exceed 45 billion. It's possible we see it hit the 50 billion mark, and some people are now actually saying it could be more than the 50 billion and it could push up to 60 billion. Here's some incredible numbers to consider thus far through the auction. So there were 452 available licenses that have been auctioned so far. The number of licenses that exceeded the supply and demand ratio was about 420. So they're actually paying above, and they're bidding above the expectation of what they thought it was going to generate. So only 30 or so licenses actually hit their mark. The rest of them all exceeded the expectation. A little bit more insight thus far in the C-Band auction is New York City, one of the, obviously the biggest market in the U.S. $220 million per sub block in bids. LA came in at 168 million subs per block. Chicago came in at 81 million subs per block. Philadelphia actually had a unique split. For Philadelphia, the market in the A block, which is the first 100 markets, the first 100 megahertz set of markets, that one is $65+ million per sub block, and their BC license came in at 49 million. So clearly, that first 100 megahertz action, those first set of licenses are generating more money. So you've heard me mention like blocks A and then blocks B and C. Here's the important thing to know about block A. It's 100 megahertz, and that's 520 megahertz sub-blocks. So to give you an idea of what it is, this is 3.7 to 3.8 gigahertz. That would be the frequency range. This is available as of December 2021. So that'll be the first spectrum that's available from the C-Band auction. Blocks B and C are a little bit different. So block B is also 5 sub-blocks of the 20 megahertz variety, 3.8 to 3.9 gigahertz. This will be available December 2023. Block C is 80 megahertz, so it'll be 4 sub-blocks of 20 megahertz, also available December 2023. Why it's valued so high is because it's going to be available next year in December, while blocks B and C will be available December 2023. So how do you get the C-band available first in this 100 megahertz block? It's an interesting thing. Let me tell you about it. So the reason that they are going to, be able to get this 100 megahertz available first is because satellite TV operators are going to be paid by the carriers that successfully bid on that spectrum to basically decom it very quickly, accelerate that decommission, so that way they can deploy very soon, as soon as December 2021. Now, up to this point, the other spectrum that is available through blocks B and C are not subjected to the same accelerated decommissioning. So if that was to change, we would see more money generated to go to those satellite TV operators to entice them to accelerate that decom sooner. So to pay the money to that first 100 megahertz to the satellite operators to make it available, that block A, that 100 megahertz, they're going to be paying them $13 to $15 billion to accelerate that decom. This shows you how important this C-band is to these carriers. And I would not be surprised if we saw the carriers also willing to ask and request that the satellite operators to decom blocks B and C to get it in their hands sooner so they could recom it for wireless, and they would have to pay, and it's going to cost a lot of money. So basically what this video is really about is the fact that C-band is generating tons and tons of money. The bidding process right now is absurd. We've already reached what we believe to be $30 billion as of the time of the recording of this video, and I don't think it's going to stop. I really do think that $50 billion is very achievable. We should start to see some steam kind of, coming out of the C-band auction, but so far it's not slowing down. It's really only picking up. But the bottom line is it is expensive. This is going to be really tough on balance sheets of these carriers. They're going to have to spend and spend and spend every which way. Spend to get the spectrum licenses, spend to get it decommed, and then spend to get it deployed. Now, the deployment part might not be that rough, especially since it's going to be going up on pre-existing tower sites. But let's not get it twisted. They're going to have to install new radios. There's going to be some new configurations. It's all going to cost a lot of money. So tell me what you think so far of this C-band. Tell me what your thoughts and opinions are on everything that we discussed in this video. I'd love to hear what you have to say. The voice of the people, the SMT Nation. Let your voice be heard. That just about does it for this edition of the SMT YouTube channel. Thank you so much for taking this opportunity to watch. We appreciate you being here. If you enjoyed the content, make sure to give this video a like and share it to all of your favorite social media platforms. Also, consider becoming a subscriber if you'd like more from the SMT, and activate that bell notification icon so you never miss an upload and you'll be the first to know when something does hit the YouTubes. Also, we've got items in the description box. We've got a Discord server. The @SneedTech Twitter handle is there, and there's ways to donate and support SMT creation. That pretty much does it for today. Thank you so much for being here again. Hope you have a great day, and we'll hopefully see you soon on the next video. Peace.